Hey folks, welcome to another video on working with Worldographer, and we're going to do another battle mat again. Last week we had done a little bit of a spaceship. Now we're going to shift a little bit towards kind of a space fantasy, magic in space theme to things, and do something Spelljammer-ish, or can't think about the top, Starfinder-ish, or whatever the case might be, however you want to mix magic and space, whatever setting might do that for you. What I've done so far is I went up to configure. So this does use two of our icon sets. I don't know if I'm going to use both of them. I probably will end up using both of them, but I've configured both of them. And we went to add configuration subfolders, and that brings up a dialog like this. And we've done, through our Patreon, we've done basically 100 icons every month for years now. So we've got a ton of icons. And in 2022, I think, yeah, 2022, in September, we did Magic in Space. And I'll provide a link to where to get these, but this would be an extra paid thing that you'd have to pick up in order to do this. But all of the general mapping principles as far as working with the built-in icons will work whether you have the extra icons or not. Then we also have a icon set called Space Fantasy, which you would do the battle mat ones for that as well. And so I checked those boxes and hit OK in order to get those into the tool. And this kind of gives you a quick look at what's in the Magic in Space set. These icons here kind of gives you some things for a golden winged creature themed spaceship, as well as kind of a sea creature themed spaceship and an insectoid type spaceship. And then if we go back to the other set, if I change this checkbox to the Battlemat Space Fantasy from 2020, then we also have this kind of this evilish set, and then kind of an elven set, if you will, an elven space fantasy set there. And then here is more of the insectoid. So, particularly if you're doing insectoid, you might need to get both sets. So you might be like, I think you can get by with just this set here, not the more recent one. But if you have both, then of course that gives you more options. And then we have kind of a steampunk subset as well in there. And again, you can mix and match to taste if you desire. I'm actually going to start at least with the more recent set, this Magic in Space set. I like this golden icon set here, and I'm just going to drop a few of these down. I'm going to flip this horizontally because, of course, I'm going to zoom out on our map a little bit. And I'm going to do like something like, yeah, I'll do something like this here, and then we'll flip it back, and then we'll come back to here. Let's make it basically 20 feet wide. So I'm just kind of trying to space this for how I want for how I want it to be pictured. Oh, I can do two sets of wings. So maybe what I will do is I will select these other ones and move them back. Now I'm thinking I could do those on two levels. I can have one level be, one set of wings, and the other level be the other set of wings. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it that way, but I'm going to have these ones, the back wings, kind of be on the main level. And the lower wings, no, I want it the other way around. So I'm going to move these off to the side for the moment. We're going to get those for later. And for now, we will put these front wings here. So we can do something like this, and then flip that, or unflip that, I should say, horizontally, and do this. And then I'm going to go to our shapes drawer off of the features drawer. Oh, I should have prefaced this by saying all I did was went up to File, New Battle Mat Dungeon Map, and spelled out a map of, in this case I started with 24 tiles wide and 12 high. a blank map and generated the map to create the blank map area. In the Pro version, you can expand those and shrink those if you need to, or you can, just guess right the first time if you don't have the Pro version, or go back and kind of spec it out, and if it's not big enough, do a minimal amount of work and then start over if it's not big enough, and repeat until you kind of get the right dimensions that you need. Okay, anyway, as I was saying, I was going to go to the shapes drawer. I'm going to do an arc and an arc/oval, and I'm going to set the width to, like, say 10%. Normally I like walls to be thicker than that, but in this case I want them to be a little bit thinner because we're on a ship after all. I'm just gonna, I don't know how that texture is gonna look for this. I want a golden looking thing, and I can look for, or I can try to use the color picker to come close to a gold color, but we'll see if we can do that. But we can always change it. For the flooring, I'm gonna want to pick something, a wooden floor. We also have some different other floor types here. I think I'm just going to go for this walnut wood type thing. And like I said, I want it to be an oval. I'm going to do the center of the oval, at least initially right here. I'm just going to click there. Oh, I'm going to delete that because I want to check this snap points. And that's just going to snap the point to the vertex, or quarter way across, or halfway across, or 3/4 across, depending. And so that gives me the shape of this, and I can expand this a little bit more if I want to. I can play with it. I can then move these wings if I need to, which I think I will move the wings ever so slightly. But I'm going to start with that. Gosh, I don't want the video to run too long. But you know what? I can just go with a white color for the wall because we have those nice white wings. So we're going to do that. And then it comes down to, how do I want, the rest of this thing to look. So I think I'm going to do this stacked. Like, I'm going to imagine that the front, the main deck towards the front is a little bit higher than the back deck, or a little bit, yeah, right. And so that's gonna be why it's gonna make sense to do that. In fact, let me deselect the current shape, or do I want to even expand this back a little bit further? No, I'm gonna leave it as it is for now anyway. So now we can come over here. I'm gonna go to the features drawer again. I'm gonna position the existing wings so that they will be where I want them to be, and I want this wing here. So I don't mind a little bit of overlap here. It's not the end of the world that our two levels are going to be overlapped a little bit, and just in the interest of saving space. Although, how far over can I go? I can go over a little bit further. Decisions. All right, let's do that. And then if I want this to be 20 feet wide across as well, you can go like that. And then let me come back to our shapes. And then I can pick the center point for this shape, for this level, and the back point there. So that's the question, is do I want to do it like that? Obviously, I kind of, maybe not obviously, but I do want to kind of make this be a little bit longer, or further back. A little bit further back. Let's try that. Of course, now I'm going to need to expand the shape of things, but we'll see where we end up when all is said and done. It might be, And these wings actually. So getting back to the wings and whether or not they're overlapping or not, I can rotate these a little bit and bring them back. So that's what that red dot does there, is it lets me rotate it. And in fact, I mean, I can see over here at the rotation there was 350.94. We're just going to even that out at 350. So then to kind of make it the same on the other side, of course, we would do 10 degrees, 360 minus that. And that lets us put that there. So now we've got our two, and then I can actually rotate this a little bit too, just ever so slightly. So that's saying 354, I think is what it was. And then 0.19, but I wanted to kind of make it even, not override the default scale. We want to rotate it. So this is going to be 6 degrees. And, that gives us our wing attachments, if you will. We have a couple of beak heads, I think. So, yeah, the avian prow. We have an A and a B. So I don't want these rotated. So let's set this to 0 degrees. So if we want our prow up front there like that, and then say we want a tail, and let's say we want the tail here on this level. I think we got 2 tails. Somehow we have one sorted way down on the bottom, another wing there too. Why would that be? Let's look. If we hover over, this is the shrike versus an eagle. So you can mix it up if you want to, or you can just keep it all Eagles themed. So there we have that. Now the question is, what do we want to do for these different levels? And this, like what I had talked about in the prior video, at this point now you almost feel like you're an interior decorator, where you're like, oh, okay, I need to have, I'm going to do this by, so this is the upper deck. So I'm going to be putting down the features that we're going to need, and maybe I'll rotate them later if we need to. But we got a couple of ballista there, and maybe a catapult in the back. Well, that's going to be too heavy. I want this to be more of a strike fighter, if you will. So I'll do just one of these in the back, and then I can select these and say that I want this rotated like 20 degrees, or no, I want to rotate it the other way. So this will be 340 for that one. And this one here is going to rotate 20 degrees. And this is our rear gunner. We're going to rotate that 180. So we can kind of hover over these things and decide which of these makes sense to have here. I mean, at the moment, I really am just looking for like a command chair that we want. So we want this command chair. We do want it to be facing towards the front. And I don't like that size. I kind of, let me zoom in a little bit. I mean, you can see at the default size there, it makes that, kind of 1.5 feet wide. Maybe because these squares are going to be 5 feet. So, that's about half of that too. Well, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is 2 feet wide already. Yeah, okay, so we'll take the default. So I've got, our captain's spot there, if you will. And then, what do we want to put in the back there? Do I want to have, in the back, we can go back to our shapes drawer. Let's say that we've got a captain's room back there. And I can go to features, shapes drawer again, go to the arc oval tool, and I can kind of put the center point there to there, and I can cheat this in a little bit. Cheat it back. Yeah, I'm going to cheat it back, and then I'm going to cheat it like that. So I've got kind of a circular room back there for the captain's room, if you will, or something. Maybe it's going to be, yeah. And then meanwhile, though, I've got to do sort of that same shape and everything so that people can realize, hey, you can get up there over here. So I'm going to use this spot, deselect and create a new one. So I'm going to use this dead space over here to kind of be, okay, now this is up above, you know. And I can probably, let me just delete that. Let me start over. So do that. And I kind of want to slide it back a little bit because I kind of want it to be comparable if you look at the grid, so people have a feel for how does this fit in. And so, you know, we know that that room ends roughly or pretty much exactly at where this grid line is. So we want it to end on that grid line. We want the front to be kind of halfway between those two grid lines. So we've got that. And the sides are the right width to match this. We could even put some sort of an arrow there or something like that if we want to going forward. We will go back to features though, because we have to have some sort of stairs up to that. So we're going to have maybe just a short stair. Maybe these are steep short stairs or longer stairs. Let's see. If we do a longer stair, that uses a lot of our surface area of the deck, you know, especially if you wanted to try to do it on both sides or something. Let me flip the, no, it already is flipped. Okay. So, you know, we're going to have these steps leading up like that. Well, maybe I can even get by with it all the way on the edge here. Yeah. Right? So that should kind of make it obvious that this is up above. Now, one thing would be, well, so there are some things that we could do. We can come into the shapes drawer here. We can select this shape here. Well, first I'm going to actually move that. Let's move this thing off of here, because what we're going to do is we're going to move this other shape up. We're going to move this shape to a different layer. So we're going to put this one. Normally we have, so we can stick it on the grid layer, but then, and then we want to, so now that's up on the grid layer, which normally I reserve just for the grid, but, you know, and if I was doing this the right way, I would probably go to layers and add, well, let's do it the right way. So let's go to add above selected. Okay. And then above main features, we'll call it. So above main features appears. Now I can go back down to the shapes drawer, and I think I'm going to have to deselect though. Deselect and then reselect just so that the, okay, layer placement, above main features. See, now I could put it back on features, but that's going to have, you know, the way it draws things is it draws the shapes after the features on the same layer. But now we can move this to that new layer, and that puts that up there. And then I can go to features, and we can select this ballista, and likewise move this to above main features, and then it will be up there. Okay. Oh, but actually we kind of want it over here anyway. Right? Kind of want it over there anyway. So that's up there. And really we could move our command chair up there too, so that our captain is getting a good view of everything. And then that just frees up more space on the deck for whatever else we might need. You know, actually though, this does make it look like these stairs are not going up to the right place. So I think all that was unnecessary. Let's go back to our shapes drawer. It'd be nice if we had a transparency effect that we could, well, actually we could do that. All right, let's do that. So we're going to go here, and then I'm going to move this back down to features, and then I can do deselect and then do a new one, and this time we can set it to above main features. And kind of set the transparency, the opacity, to like 50%. And we're going to do this as a new arc oval, and we click there, we click there. And I think that it is centered properly. It's just a matter now of moving this here. But you can see now how that opacity setting kind of colors over that. So hopefully that's getting people the idea that, oh, well, that those stairs are leading up to the other level and not down. That's what I'm going for anyway. We can set the opacity even to like 60 to kind of make it lighter. This is just saying that our new shape on the top is going to be, yeah, okay, so we'll set it to 70. I like that effect. Maybe you can think of a better way to pull this off, but that's the way that occurs to me, is just to show that these stairs are leading up over to there. So in here, let's get back to doing our interior decorating. Oh, didn't mean to go to layers, meant to go to features. And here in features, here's our door, so we can set a door here. We definitely want this to be above the main features so that that door gets put up there. Now, and then we can, if this is our captain's quarters, then, we can deck it out, have a nice bed here. Yeah, I'm just pausing because I'm thinking, okay, do I want to divide this up into kind of the captain's bedroom and then a kind of a ready room type thing? Or do I want to do something different? Again, it's all a matter of being sort of an interior decorator here. I'm going to rotate this to 90, yeah. But then it's a little bit too big for that space. It doesn't have to be that big. I don't mind, we're on a ship, it can be a little bit smaller. So let's see what 90% does for us. 90% is, yeah, that can be 6 feet. I mean, maybe I can go 95 just to cheat it forward a little bit more, but we can make a pretty good argument that that's a 6 foot long bed or 6.5 foot long bed. We can throw a line between these two. Oh, no, meant to go to shapes. And for shapes, we can draw the line. And here we want this to be, we want the opacity to be 100% in this case. It's going to have to be above the main features. And we don't really care about the fill because it's just going to be a straight line. Just dividing this up into halves. And yes, that means that we're going to have to move our door here. And we can move it here like this. And then do a little bit of a rotate there. I might be a little bit too far. Now, the other thing, if you want to be a little bit more precise with your placement, you can use the arrow keys once you've got things selected. And if you have the focus on the map, that is one gotcha, is to have the focus on the map. And then this one here, go back to 0 degrees for that. But we're going to move that around likewise. So here, we just rotate this guy a little bit. We're going to make this one very close to here. Very close to that door. And then we're kind of looking for some tables. So here we've got, this space table here, which is that, okay, so that's a pretty big space table. That's another big space table, I think. And then here's another space table. So I think I'm going to take this long one, but we're going to reduce the size of this. And we'll make it 100% wide, or 100 rather. So that is 1 square. I think I want that to be bigger, actually. So 160. Where do I want this? No. Okay, we want 170. Go with 170 for that. And then we've got our space chairs again. Oh, so this was the captain's space chair. Oh, okay. So let's take our space chair, our existing space chair, and he is going to have to go on above main features or else we lose him. But we got that one there. We can cheat that up a little bit so it's not over the wall. It's up against the wall, but not over the wall. Let's get our captain's space helm chair. That's a little bit more impressive, isn't it? Stick that there. And then we got to get these here. And so we put one over here. And then we go with 90 degrees and stick 2 on the sides here. And then 2 on the other side. I'm gonna play with those positionings a little bit. Maybe a lot bit, actually. I think I'm going to reposition everything in here. Again, interior decorating. So I can come up here, and we got plenty of room in this direction. I think I want to make sure that these 2 guys here get moved first. Okay. Let's see. So we're solving the problem of this chair being too close to the back end, if you will. Or maybe we're getting right back to it, right back to the same problem. This guy here can go up 1. And then this guy here can go up a couple. And this guy here can go up, well, spread these out a little bit more. If you hold down the shift key as you're using the arrow keys, it will move it like 10% of a square. Whereas if you don't have the shift key down and you're moving the arrow keys, it's going to move it 1% of a square. And then we're going to move this up to the top. And I think now I'm happy with this. So we've kind of got the captain's, we've got a captain's room. Maybe this is the dining hall that they go to, whatever the case might be. So they've got that there. The captain's room, we need a couple of cabinets and stuff. So let's do this. So he's got some storage to throw his stuff in. Like I said, we're always doing all this interior decorating. Yeah, it's a little bit too big for my taste, but we can adjust that. What was this? This here is a cooktop, isn't it? I think. Yes, that's the cooktop. Okay, so we got that. We can put another table here, and this time make it, just 90%. No, let's do the 100%. So this is kind of the captain's desk, if you will. Don't want to override that scale. Rotate this by 1 to 270. There you go. Select the table. Raise that up. This guy here strikes me as a little bit too big. So we will reduce this down to, say, 75. And then drag that out a little bit. So there we have our captain's room, and we have that room. You know, actually, so, and then we need stairs down. I wasn't even thinking about that. So we need stairs down. So we go here, and we're going to move this over here. These doors are going to obviously have to swing out. Swing out of the captain's room. But yeah, so we got that there, and you know, I mean, we could just select all these guys here. Oop. Okay, I didn't want to come down quite that far. That's pretty good though. And then this chair, and maybe this can come back up a little bit. Okay, and that lets us have our door leading into the captain's chambers. Okay, and then we got to get back to our stairs. So now we got our stair, and we want to have our stairs leading down in this case. So down is going to be in the bottom of the stair, as you're looking at it in the icon, is the down side. So we can do this here, but in this case, I want to move the layer to features so that we can see that, yes, in fact, that is going to lead down below that other one. Okay. So then we would come over here and put our stairway in the same spot. So I'm saying that this horizontal point going across the map is in the same spot. So that is here, essentially. But spread out more? No. Yes. Spread out more. Okay. So select this. And that's okay that it's sticking up off there, because that's, you know, vertically, if you're looking at the map vertically from a side view kind of thing, that stairway is up above the middle. The middle part of this is kind of up towards the top end, or the top layer. All right, so we've got that. Now it's a matter of how do you want to divide up this whole area. You know, this video is running a little bit long already, I bet, longer than planned. We're at 33 minutes or so. Oh, actually, that's actually not too bad. So we'll keep going for at least a few more minutes just to fill this in. So I'm going to do the shapes. I'm going to do lines. This time I'm going to be careful that I want no fill for the lines. And I want this to be on just the features layer. So we got, you know, kind of the stairway coming down, and I kind of want to put a line in for that. And so this line I might actually put above main features. And then what I want to do, what if I change this to but? That's not going to make much of a difference. Okay. So we can have kind of this area up here be the area. I do want the line join to be mitered, and yeah, I guess I will change it to but. That just means that the end caps don't stick out a little bit. I'm gonna have to tweak those anyway. What I do to tweak those is I will turn off the snap, and then you kind of have to hover over until it highlights, and then you're going to move it ever so carefully, and then move the other one ever so carefully, and then I'll turn that back on, because usually I want it on. And so we've got kind of some kind of crew quarters or cooking area or something over there that we can do. And we can do another one. If one's crew quarters, then we can have a cooking area here. Um, let's say this is our, oh, gotta come in for a door. So yeah, so we can have a cooking area there, deselect, and then this other side, or the back side down here, might be our cargo area. So let's just round this out really quickly. Don't need terrain. Round this out relatively quickly. So we can have kind of like a big cargo door type thing, or a smaller cargo door to let things in and out from the bottom is what where I'm going with this, just because it avoids stuff from the top. So I'm going to say that, hey, we've got this cargo door thing that lets things in from the bottom. I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees, and we'll have it kind of in the center, with the idea that, hey, we can have some crates. I don't like the crates to be quite that big, so I'm going to override them to be like 70% of a hex's size. And we're going to put place freely, so that in this case it's not going to try to anchor things to any particular spot. We can stick one there and one like that, and a couple back here. These are crates, right? Oh, it's a hatch. Okay, well, they look like crates to me, so use what you need. I mean, if you need it as a hatch, then use it as a hatch. But since we had these already, I figured I could make those crates. Well, you know what? Let's take it off. Let's take those off. Let's go to battle mat, crate, and here are the crates that we kind of have built into Woldographer, and we can just stick some of those because it doesn't really matter too much what we don't need a themed crate. That's not terribly important. So we're just sticking a few of these down, and then stick this and put, well, let's rotate that back. So we'll stick one of these and stick one here, and then go vertical 90 degrees. Got one stacked on top of there. We've got one of these stacked on top of there. So maybe even another one on top of this one directly. Okay. Doors. Let's go back to our magic in space door. And this gives us all of the doors that we have. Let's go to not that. Let's not place it freely. Let's, we do need one vertically. So we'll put one here. And then we're going to go back to the 0. Oh, okay. See that? That line must have been above. So if we stick this on this layer, so that I must have accidentally made this line on the other layer. So I could change that, or since it doesn't really matter, I can just change the layer that I'm placing these guys on. 90 degrees to this. And I wanted to select, because now I just want to fine tune this a little bit. I want to bring that over a little bit. I want to bring this one over a little bit. So we got that. Back to, oh no, I do want this, but I don't want to filter. And, we could stick some more beds in there. There's some hammocks and stuff. I'm going to just do the bed again. That bed is way too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the other bed just so I can get the same size. And we can imaginatively say that these are bunks if you want to. however you want to manage that. Maybe if we expand this icon set, we'll do an actual bunk, but for the moment, I think we're just going to say that, hey, you've got to imagine that these are bunks. In fact, I am going to cheat these to be a little bit smaller, at least on the height aspect of things. We can go 160 maybe on that. 90. What was it? 90 on the other one? What was the other size? I don't think it was 90. Yeah, it was 95. Okay. So let's do 90. These guys here, they don't, if they're too tall, they gotta stick their feet out a little bit. And then the width, yeah, okay. So then we'll do another one. Place freely. I think whenever you use place freely, you want to be a little bit more precise. So yeah, so that gives us a couple of extra spots there. We can even stick out another one here. Go 270 on this. So we got another one here. And, we can say that they've got lockers on the floor underneath the beds or something if we want to. I'm going to just slide this out ever so slightly, again, being the interior decorator here, so that this is not quite so on top of that. Okay, and then, like I said, we have a cooktop here, so we can, let me unset these. So we can have kind of our cooktop. I do want to place this freely. So we've got our cooktop here, and we've got some storage here. We got a little prep table maybe that they work from. And I do want to override that. Let's get the settings for the other table by going to select while we highlight this table. And then we can click the table again and then come back over here. Rotate this 0 degrees. We'll have this kind of be, I do want it to be placed freely though. So we've got this table over here. And, we can move this guy down to the center. Move these both out here maybe. There you go. All right, so we want to add a row to the top and the bottom of the map, though, just so that so that the whole thing will be saved properly. So we can go to Tools, Expand, Shrink. We're going to add a row to the top and the bottom. Hit OK. And we got it. So there you have it. There's our Eagle Magic in Space ship, if you will, with a crew of 6 plus the captain, maybe. Maybe in a pinch we could do something over here with this dead space, but there's not a lot. Could reorganize it a little bit for a little bit more space by having, doing something a little bit different down here. But that about covers it. Again, this is Worldographer using some of our extra icon sets that we've done through Patreon, which are also available on DriveThruRPG. Joining our Patreon just gets you the most recent couple of months worth. If you want any from the back catalog like these, then your best bet would be to look for them on DriveThruRPG. We also have an index of all of the icon sets that we've done on our on the Worldographer webpage. Website. I'll link more directly to that in the comments, but that covers our creating an Eagle Magic in Space ship, and I hope that was useful for y'all. It's a lot of fun for me. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye.